Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome in. It is wonderful to see you all tonight. First things first, I believe, Poison Darth Frog, you are the first viewer to redeem first this stream, so pat yourself on the back. You get to be first. I don't have a last queued up, which means I think the last is the same as the last time when we had a last, because normally I clear it, and I don't think anybody redeemed last since the start of last stream. So we don't have one of those today, which is fine, because we have a first. Round of applause. Round of applause to you. Anyways, happy Wednesday, folks. Hello, SNK. Hello, Plum. Plum, thank you for redeeming word of the stream. Mooshlight Princess. Dare I ask what your substitution is there, sir? So Moosh is obviously our bestest best friend in this game, except for when I have to fight things while riding him. No idea, I panicked. Well, maybe it's replacing day, and this says Daylight Princess. How on earth are we gonna know? We'll never know. We'll never know. It's impossible. I was actually thinking about that because Moosh is our bestest best friend, and in this game, we have named the horse Moosh, and so Moosh is my bestest friend. This horse is my bestest, most bestest friend, and I hate fighting while riding the horse. It's trash. It should not be a mechanic. But the game doesn't listen to me, and so now I have to reconcile for myself that this is still my bestest best friend. It's very tricky. Moosh Light. It is especially tricky because Midna's in this game. And so, when I'm in human form, Moosh is my best friend. But probably when I'm in a wolf form, Midna's my best friend. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this human chicken nightmare hybrid and its head clone baby. Poison Darth Frog. That is the best summary of last stream that I could possibly imagine into existence. So thank you. In case you missed last week, if you were not here last week, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this human chicken nightmare hybrid and its head clone baby. That is clearly all you need to know. Whoops. I'm writing the wrong word. Chat, my word of the stream is so difficult. Princess. That's what I'm trying to spell right now. Be warned, chat. It's also Kate. Hello. Welcome in. Thank you so much for making it worse somehow. Good for you. Just a reminder, chat. We actually do have to make eye contact with the head clone baby. We might need to make eye contact with the human hybrid creepy chicken. I am not sure, because I don't know how it works, but I did use it to save my spot in the dungeon, last week. Mooshlight Princess. There y'all go. Which means... Putting that back is tricky right now. I did it. Yeah, which means look away if you don't want to be slightly a little bit traumatized, is how this is gonna go, I guess. 'Cause we gotta go back in. So, from what I remember, basically, last week we figured out how to climb Death Mountain and how to access the Goron Mines by winning a wrestling competition. It's fine. It's fine. Come on! TTS! Aren't you gonna work? Okay. I don't remember how I've queued things up, but I'm hoping this still works.
Maybe it's the fused shadow talking, but you've got a channel that just won't quit. They got those big chewy pretzels here. $5? Get out there here.
That was worth it just to hear the end, the attempt at the end. Thank you so much for the 100 bits, Kate. You amuse me. So we made it all the way up Death Mountain. We made it into the Goron Mines, and we actually found the first Goron Elder, which is pretty cool. So I have the compass. But I also, literally just learned that there are magnets in this dungeon, and the navigation of it is giving me some anxiety because now I have to pay attention not just to the floor, but also to the walls and to the ceiling if they happen to be magnetic. So I am very unclear on what's about to happen, but we're gonna try. Get out. Yeah. It tried so hard and got nowhere. So that was fine. 45 stream streak. That is a lot of streams, SNK. Well done. Your presence is much appreciated and constant, apparently. That's almost a year, literally. That might be a full year's worth of streams because I don't stream every week. And so that's minimum a year's set of streams, which makes sense because I think the only reason that your streak, SNK, ever broke was because I took more than a month off last December for my sanity. And if I don't stream for more than a month, Twitch resets all the streaks. And so I'm pretty sure that this 45 stream streak started last January and you've just been at it all year. Which is pretty spectacular. It's a girl! Joke they were checking your kidneys. Okay, well, that's a really good joke. Except for the part where, most ultrasounds cause discomfort, and so I hope it wasn't that bad. It's a kidney.
Snktama04 just subscribed. Plumberry gifted a tier 1 sub to Snktama04. They have given 156 gift subs in the channel.
Plum, thank you so much.
Kate Bloomer 27 just subscribed. Plumberry gifted a tier 1 sub to Kate Bloomer 27. They have given 158 gift subs in the channel.
Plum, thank you so much for your generosity in gifting those subs to Kate and to SNK. Kate and SNK, I hope you enjoy your Lady Cutie notes for the next month. You're one up on your roommate. They only have one kidney. Okay, well, I mean, the good news is one kidney is, livable. That's okay. That's an okay organ to only have one of. But that is extremely funny. Okay, look away if you don't want the trauma of whatever's about to happen when I attempt to use this clone head thing. Why do you have to take it out of the pocket? Why are you sinking lower? What are you doing? I don't like any of this. Just stay in the hand. Why are you moving? So this is a very tough question to answer, chat, because I never want to see this thing's mama again. But I do want to continue the dungeon. We don't. Kate, we don't. We really, really don't. No, you do have to see the mama again. Well, welcome back. Did you just jump into my pocket? That is creepy. Okay, well, the good news is I'm where I thought I was. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the room beneath me is the room where I learned about magnets. And I do see that side at least, oh, they are connected. Okay. Why does the bird anything? Why? Every single part, Kate, every single part of that character design is horrifying on a totally different level for a totally different reason. It is pure horror. There is nothing else about that design. That is the only feature of it. And I am done now. Thank you. We're finished. I don't even want it on my X button. Hello, C Jinx. I hope you missed the horror. It's fine. The Gorons were confusing enough already. That's true. Well, thank you very much for popping in, and I hope you enjoy your lurk. The chicken, like, there's no reason. There's no reason for it to be like this. Okay. What about... Oh, yep, these are just fully magnetized. Oh. What? Uh-oh. What? Nope, wrong button. Chat, I pressed the wrong button. Did you know that occasionally... Oh, fascinating. When I am magnetized, I cannot use boomerang. Interesting. Can I use sword? I can use sword. Can I kill slug without putting out the fire? Oh, that's convenient. Okay, so if it's got fire, it can attack me, but it will still die if I hit it with a sword. So I do not actually need to offer the boomerang. These boots were made for whoops. I'm not surprised. That is how I roll. Okay. So I'm not in love with the idea that I have to just like be permanently aware of every possible wall of the room, but it is a neat mechanic. Okay, that's a switch that I can step on. Oh, we're in this room again. Okay, we are once more. This makes sense. I noticed it. Oh, that actually cleared something up for me, chat. So we've been in this room before. We were on the lower level of this room. We had to run around the lava. Directly underneath me is a door that we had to pull with a chain, and then we had to like speed run around to get into it because it was on a timer, even though it was pretending it wasn't on a timer because it didn't do any ticking. You remember that room? I remember that room. And I specifically remember walking into this room, looking up at the ceiling and seeing what looked like gemstone, like layers in the rock, and going, oh, okay, there's some fire slugs up there. When I walk under them, they're gonna plop on my head and they're gonna try to hurt me. And then I navigated the whole room and they never once did that. They did not do it. And I was like, what a weird detail that there's fire slugs, but that they don't actually try to drop on my head. How odd. And now that actually makes sense, because that's a separate room, quote unquote. That's an area that I'm gonna have to walk on. And so the fire slugs are gonna hurt me when I try to walk on that area. But it actually now makes sense why they weren't trying to hurt me when I was walking on the other area, rest of the area. This is a very big room. This is a very big room, and that makes me feel like it's holding secrets. So I do see the center area, and I do see where I have to get eventually, because I want to get to that upper door. But if you think I'm not going to walk around this entire room and just make sure that all the slugs die, then I have a surprise for you. Bam. Okay. You are very close. What? Oh. Oh no. Chat, my concept of movement in this room is already not doing well. It's not doing well. I am going to struggle with the lefts and the rights. The thing is, it's not that it doesn't make sense, and I kind of want to be clear about that. Ooh, there's a chest. It's not that it doesn't make sense. So if I want Link to move deeper into the room, I need to push forward. And if I want to move him towards the camera, I push backwards, which does make sense. And like left and right are still kind of left and right, but for whatever reason, the backwards is hurting me. And I don't fully understand. Okay, I Oh, there's a slug. I'm gonna kill the slug, I think. Great. Successfully killed the slug. Then I'm gonna fall. We're fine. Everything's fine. What is this? Small game rec for King Menzel if he hasn't seen them already. Dragon Ruins 1 and 2. Old-timey dungeon crawler maze games, but auto fight, simple stuff, mindless fun. That is a really sweet recommendation, Plum. I can hear the shower running, which means King Menzel is not currently in chat. But I'm gonna copy that. So that I can keep track of what? Absolutely not. Oh my stars. I just opened a new tab. This is gonna start beef, and I'm still gonna say it, but it's gonna start beef. I opened a new tab just to have somewhere to paste what I was copying, so that I could tell King Menzel about it later. And that essentially opened Google. And so I basically just Google searched Dragon Ruins 1 and 2, which is fine. Like, that's typically effective. And the immediate thing that I got was an auto-suggestion that I should enable AI mode to make myself better at gaming. And I do not know how to say no hard enough to that. Never? Burn it? I don't want that feature. I don't want any part of that feature. Things are awful enough. Switch 2, played the first, had fun. There was a second. Ooh, a piece of heart. That's delightful. It's not what I was expecting it would be. Okay. So this is, I think, the thing that is going to confuse me, because I am still pressing forward, and I am now walking towards myself. And that is the opposite. That is... I don't like this. The Turtles game that you hate the most is your best analytics. That feels like poetic injustice. Is that a thing? I probably should have checked what path to take. Chat, does anyone know how to get to the door that I want to get to? I mean, this isn't really a maze, and so I'm certain that it's okay no matter what. I just am very slow moving. Hey look, it's a fire slug. I want an understanding of my distance from this fire slug. My understanding of my distance from the fire slug is very bad. I don't think I need to check. Oh, chat. There's a split. I'm pretty sure that part of the split is going to take me to the door and let me drop. Should I check that part of the split? Should I clunk my way to make sure that there isn't something sneakily hiding there? What if there's something sneakily hiding there? Okay, there is not. That was not worth it. It's been a year since you quit. You've been debating trying it again to see if they fixed the crashing issues. Could make for a funny video a year later, especially if you can't get any further. I agree. Like, how fantastic to be like, hey, I checked my channel analytics and apparently y'all found this funny, and so I'm trying it again, and it just goes the exact same way. You make no further progress. And you're just fundamentally frustrated the whole time. You know what? I don't need to fight that. I'm fine. I think I made it through that room. That being said, I don't have a compass, and so I don't know if I'm finding everything in this dungeon, but that's okay. Ooh, that is a gamble. what if you actually have to keep playing the game? I'm pretty sure already I've completed 3. I've of all the Zelda games that I have played in the last 2 years on this channel, I'm pretty sure 3 of them, which is like a lot. That is approaching half. I'm pretty sure 3 of them I finished entirely out of spite, of just refusing to let the game beat me. Stejinx, thank you so much for redeeming Kaboom! Otherwise known as Dehydrate. I have me some sour cream and onion. Oops, that's the French side. I did the same thing last time. Why is the French side on the side that I think is the English side? Some sour cream and onion Pringles! The party stack for more. Which is good, because I ate like more than half of this throughout the weekend. So I have like this many Pringles left, which is not a lot of Pringles. Another victory for Spite. Spite does so much work with my like 100% video game standard. I just refuse. It is a spectacular motivator in general. Like, if I'm not going to do something for me, can I do it for Spite? Feels like it works. I do enjoy my little snacks. So thank you again, Stejinx. It has just occurred to me, and I'm certain that this has occurred to other people. Ooh, barbecue Doritos. I didn't know they made that flavor. Fun. Barbecue flavors are usually hit or miss with me, because sometimes I just find them too much. But I am curious how they would go with like the corn chip. So, a thing that just occurred to me. I know I am not the first person to whom this has occurred, possibly not even in this chat. But the uniformity of the size and shape of Pringles implies that they basically pureed the potato and then put it in some kind of mold or some such thing to make sure that it was all the correct size and shape. And that makes it upsettingly similar in concept to a McDonald's chicken nugget. And I'm glad I thought of that after I finished eating Pringles. Those actually taste like barbecue sauce? Interesting. So, for dinner today, which you clearly did not know, Poison Darth Frog, I actually had barbecue chicken, among other things. There was like a coleslaw side with some apple, delicious, and like fries and things like that. But I just had barbecue chicken, and I was reminded how delicious I think the barbecue sauce that Kimenzla and I usually buy is. Like, I really like that barbecue sauce. And I don't have barbecue sauce on a lot of things, or for a lot of reasons. It's not a very primary condiment. And so that was very interesting for me to be thinking about. And now you're talking about barbecue chips, which is already interesting, but it's extra interesting because you're talking about barbecue chips that actually like kind of taste like barbecue sauce. I might have to see if I can find a bag. What color is the bag? Oh, hello. So great of you to come just high enough up the stairs that your face was at sword slashing height. Delightful. How comparable is this to a chicken nugget? So the thing is, it's just like I eat McNuggets sometimes, probably even still, though it's been a while. Delightful. But the concept of like how it's made is one of the things that really upsets me. Ugh. And so if I'm gonna eat a McNugget, I need to be very careful and conscientious to not think about how it's made. That's important to me. Whee! Woo! See, it did the thing! It did the thing! It retargeted for me on what it considered to be the biggest threat. Which sometimes... Oh, that was a finishing move and I missed it! Oopsies. Oh well, that's fine. It retargeted for me and it like spins me around real quick when it does that. The bag is purple. Okay, that is helpful. I have seen the spicy Korean barbecue and I have specifically not bought because I think it has the word spicy on the bag, at least on the one that I saw. And I was like, what do you mean by spicy? Because I struggle with spice. Okay, where are we at? So there's a this. Am I supposed to swing the magnet over? What does this button do? Well, it turns the magnet on. I'm hoping that means it also causes it to like auto swing. Oh. Okay. Okay. So the down there is the way that I came in. I'm pretty sure. The spirally platforms. So I think I want to go that way, which means I will let it pass me one more time this way. This is a very interesting movement mechanic. Ugh, go easy. Yeah, that makes sense. How fun. Whoop. Whoopsies. Very nice. At least those guys are still fairly easy to destroy. There's so many more magnets. This is a crazy room. Okay, there's a lot more up than I expected. Which I suppose is fair, because the second floor is where I have not yet been. Gotcha. Ooh, it's coming to get me. Okay. Just checking to see if my boots are still on. Which I know that they aren't, but I'm very easily forget. What is this vase? I don't know if I trust it. The last time I picked up a vase, there was a terrifying chicken lady in it. Huh. Okay, so I still don't get to go up there. Oh, thank goodness it was money. Thank you so much for stopping by, Plum. It was lovely to see you, and I hope you rest well. Hit it. We go. Oh. Oh, we have these things. Hello. Ow. How many hits? Well, I am pleased to note that Tektites just kind of die when you hit them, so that's good. Them's a lot of skulls down there. Oop. And that is a treasure chest. Okay. So there are pillars that I can jump across, and that's cute, but the door is locked on the other side. And there's also an upper portion of the room that I currently cannot access because of the wall not being activated yet. Yeah, the magnet power isn't turned on. So I think probably what I'm expecting out of this room is aha, there it is. There's the switch. I'm expecting to see a switch somewhere, which I can now see on that far platform. My head's like kind of pointing at it. So I can see the switch there, and I bet if I stand on that with the iron boots, it will turn on the magnet power of the wall, which will suck me across the room, and then I can walk up to that blue crystal switch there and hit it, and I think that that will probably open the gate, which means I'm expecting that that access point is going to be me dropping down with the iron boots and having to move that block before I run out of air, so I can come back up on the other side, which is very simple. But first, like, it's not a complex puzzle. It's just interesting to me, I think, that after... Ooh, a key. It's interesting to me that after a fairly standard first dungeon... I don't really remember any particular gimmick about the Forest Temple. So after a fairly standard first dungeon, this one has the gimmick of both underwater movement and magnetic walls. And so I guess it's nice that at least they've both been relatively simple so far. Oh wait, hold on. There's that? That is not what I expected. Interesting. So it did not shoot me across the room. It shot me to here, where there's another switch that's going to shoot. Okay, so we just added one pointless step. We could have absolutely made it the first thing that I said. We just didn't. I'm guessing I have to jump into that? What do they think I'm learning here? Like, if I have my boots, and if I drop, it sucks me in. Okay. Very interesting that they felt the need to teach me that. I wonder if it will have any relevance whatsoever to anything ever. Kick this open, get some money. Thank you for the money. Hit with sword? Hit with sword. Great. Hit with sword, and it's got a time limit. Whoop! Enemies? Excuse you? Excuse you? Multiple different styles of enemies. I feel like I have been tricked. Well, at least those things aren't trying to hurt me. Okay, so there's a switch there. There's a magnet wall there. There's not very much going over there. And there's a door? Question mark? Okay. So we are going to want a reasonably good view of this room. What happened? What changed? Wasn't something appeared, right? That would be impossible. What? Maybe I have to hit it with the boomerang somewhere. Ooh! Treasure! I do like me some treasure. Another piece of heart! Delightful. Okay, well. Oh wait, it was probably to open the door and I wasn't looking at the door. Heh, silly me. I don't think it matters. I think I can just keep going. I kind of forgot that the door locked behind me, and that's a very unusual Zelda thing to, like, keep. Okay, so do I slash the ropes? I slash the ropes. Understood. How nice. I'm pretty sure, if I had to guess, that that's Twilight Princess's version of a Beamos, and that if the red eye spots me... Hello! The Morton Salt Girl. Interesting name. Hello, nice to see you. How are you doing tonight? I don't think I want to test my theory of the Beamos. So I think I'm just gonna... Oh good! I have a key! For whatever reason, I'm feeling a bit sketched out at where things are at right now with this dungeon, which means I'm gonna do a quick little save. But I will keep playing. What's through this door? Ooh. Ooh. A camera pan is through this door. There are dudes with arrows. Hmm. Okay. So they will shoot at me. This is good to know. I can kind of see their range. Can I guess I have a slingshot? Oh, it's an iconic logo for a brand of salt in the States. Is that like table salt or is that like rock salt for outside? Sorry, I'm Canadian, and it's winter right now, which means I tripped over a bag of salt trying to get to work today because my building supervisor had left it directly outside the door of my unit. And so in my brain, I'm like, rock salt? But it's probably cooking salt. Okay, this makes sense. So not quite table salt. Cooking salt, not necessarily the same thing. Some people have very strong opinions about salt, I am learning. And I am partially learning that because my mother-in-law lives in a town that has a salt mine in it. And I have learned a lot of things about salt since I met her. You used to live in Vermont. Yep. Just giant bags of salt. So, okay, well, I'm gonna break you, because that's just the right thing to do. I see that there are, like, spots where I could hide here. Right? Wait, hold up. I could climb there? That's fascinating. You're just, like, burning everything, chat. So I obviously need to get to the magnet, but I don't actually see... Oh, there's a door up there, but it looks like it needs a key. And so... I kind of... Ooh, there's a treasure chest up there. Can I get up there? Oh, not without a little bit of assistance. So... I can definitely get onto the lower platforms. fairly easily. Heh. Heh. Okay. Let's explore those. Enemies with arrows that can actually, like, aim. Whoop! Enemies with arrows that can actually aim. Gotcha. Okay, so there's a ladder there. There's also a way to climb out of the water, I think. But I still don't know what I'm looking for. She's beloved. Everyone knows the logo. Okay, see, now I'm gonna have to look this up. Oh, that's cute. That's really interesting. Okay, so this is probably not a unique idea, but I now am looking at this going, so how many people have you met in your life who have gone as this for Halloween? Because this feels like a relatively simple costume that would be extremely recognizable at the same time if there was like a shared cultural understanding. And that is fascinating to me. Poison Dart Frog, they've never had that before. I just need to point that out. Like, I've never actually been at risk of being hurt with enemy arrows. I can't tell if I want to try to climb that ladder or not. This is the problem that I'm running into. Where does that ladder take me? It takes me to the same place I think that I could get to just by walking if I wanted to. These guys can't see me, Chad. Oh, there's a Beamos. As opposed to hiring all their guards from the Galactic Empire. Whee! Just run. Whee! I don't know what I'm doing. Thanks for the key. Okay, that was one of two things that could have helped me here. The other one would have been... Okay. It definitely feels like there's something behind you, but I don't have things that I need to fight a Beamos? What are you shooting at? It isn't common, but if someone were to wear it, everyone would be like, I love it, that's such a good idea. That's interesting that it's not common. I don't know why my brain looked at this image. I had never seen this logo before. I am not familiar with Morton Salt and the Morton Salt Girl, and so I am so glad to have expanded my understanding by actually looking it up. The first thing I thought when I looked at it was, wow, that Halloween costume would take me a little bit of luck and not a lot of money and not a lot of time. And that is exactly what I look for. Is something that's like super recognizable, but actually isn't that complicated. Except if I were to do it, no one would know what it was. Because I don't think Morton Salt is all that common in southern Ontario. Except now that I've said it, I have to look in my grocery store the next time I go. Maybe I'm just really used to a specific brand of salt and I don't know. Yep, girl in yellow with a white umbrella. A yellow raincoat, white umbrella. Mostly she seems to be blonde, but I feel like that's probably flexible.
Settle down, Beavis just resubscribed for 54 months. Morton's Salt.
Well, hey Beavis, you showed up at a time. Thank you so much for 54 months of subs. That's more than a year's worth of months. More than a year's worth of weeks converted into months. I was thinking about the number 52 earlier, and 54 is higher than that. That's all I'm trying to say. It's not that interesting. But hello, I'm glad to see you. I hope you're doing well. It was an odd thing to come into. I've never heard of the brand before, okay? I don't know things. Okay, where's the beam? So usually I'm used to Beamoses being destroyed by either bombs or arrows, and I do not have either, but there's definitely a door behind him, which means I definitely want to, like, shoot him. Quit it! Quit it! Quit it! Quit it! I don't know why I chose to do it that way. I also don't think there's any benefit for going into the water, but like, whoop, they are gonna shoot me. Good climbing link. I don't think I can do any better than... See, I really wanted to go the other way first. If I jump into the water, well, I can just get out. Deck of cards plus the 2 jokers, 54. Great point. There are games that leave jokers in. Canasta is a game that leaves jokers in, but Canasta is typically played with 2 decks stacked, so it's usually 108, I think. A lot of people just recognize the logo because it's like the Salt brand. That's really interesting. That's just what Salt looks like. That's so interesting. Oh my gosh. Every once in a while, I just get a little bit gobsmacked with the cultural differences that I experience between, like, Canada and the US. And I go, I never would have thought of that. I never would have considered the idea that Salt has, like, national brands. Like, not that it's, like, the official brand of anything, but the fact that I don't recognize this logo. And so I'm curious if it's even stocked in my grocery store, but I know that we have salt mines in Ontario, and so why would it be? Because why wouldn't we just buy local salt? And that's just not something that you ever think about, and so I don't think about the fact that probably no one outside of Ontario has Ontario salt. Like, maybe whatever brand of salt I've got for my cooking is just not a brand anyone else has ever heard of. Windsor salt here in Canada? Possibly. Like, we have more than one salt mine, which is even crazier, and I don't know what we do with it because I've never looked it up. Okay, I'm gonna have to jump in the water because I need to know. You have table salt from the table mines? Spectacular. I just need to know what's this. Okay. Very interesting. So there is something here. I can't do very much about it yet. I don't think the archers have noticed me, which is really weird. Because they were shooting me when I was standing on that platform before. Okay. So I think for now I am going to have to continue to be silly. Oh, goodness me. And go here. Huh. Well, thanks for stopping by, CJinx. Oh, the flippy platform. Ooh, Tektites. Okay. So that's a door. That's a magnet. Goes to there. There are 3 doors in this room. Okay, so a door that I can get to is the lower one. I am not confident that I could get to the higher one because I'm not 100% sure I'm supposed to... I don't think these are Mario platforming rules for these things. I think these are... Oh gosh! We have an easy mode and a hard mode. I bet I understand the rules. Yep, I understand the rules, chat. I understand the rules. Not good at them, but I understand them. Whee. Hard mode is for the speedrunners. Okay. So I can definitely get to this door, and then the hope would be whatever happens. Ooh, the room through this door is a dead end, which means the hope would be whatever happens in there, I can come out through the upper door and then walk along that side wall to the third door in this room. Crazy. Rules are for nerds. Nerd! Thanks for the reminder, Kate. I'm definitely a nerd. That's rather rude of the camera. Which part? Are they actually? Why would you speedrun a game that takes you 17 hours to do? Well, that's a Goron Elder. Oh, is this the one where you stare at a rupee for 17 hours and then you win the game? Okay. Ooh, this one, it's green instead of red. So last time I looked around the room and got curious about a lot of things before talking to the elder and he yelled at me. Ooh. Dreads. That's pretty cool. Hey, dude. Oh. You know what, Beavis? Okay. First of all, great point. You're right. The platform rotation and the interaction with the camera, awful. I was trying really hard not to pay attention to it, but being able to tell when you were about to be flat so that you could take your boots off a little bit early without like sliding off the side, that was a thing I wanted to do. Camera was super uncooperative about it, so like valid. It is a dreadlock beard. Very cool. But the other thing that I noticed the camera doing last stream, which it was still doing this stream, is when you're fighting enemies, if you're just like holding the toggle for the aim, it will default to whichever enemy the game considers to be the biggest threat to you. And the camera is immediately responsive to that, which means if I'm swinging a sword at trying to kill a specific enemy, a thing that literally just happened in this stream is a bat came up behind me. And my character, the camera, and my attack just swung a full 180 to kill the bat. And I was like, what is happening? Because the disorientation in that moment, like, it's not like I didn't successfully kill the bat and then successfully kill the other things. Like, I didn't even take a hit. And so it's not like it did anything this time, but the disorientation of like, where am I looking is genuinely upsetting in this game. Yes, it was exactly like that, Poison Death Rug. You are right. The spin. The spin. There's a Scooby-Doo game on Game Boy Advance that anyone can reach ridiculously fast times on. That's really cute. I always figured if I ever got into speedrunning, it would be for a game that I like rather than a game that's easy. Not that that's not like a good way potentially to get into doing it, but like I could totally see myself wanting to figure out a speedrun for a game like Super Paper Mario, for example. Like, what are the glitches? Do I think I have the ability to do them? Because I've thought about it, because Thousand Year Door, love Thousand Year Door. Do I think I could do some of the strategizing of the combat? I feel like I would be very stressed out. Because there's certain combat skills that you have to be really, really good at, and so the B block is something that you have to be able to do to damage back certain enemies, or you wind up taking extra turns and potentially dying due to like taking too much damage. And so like until I learn how to do a B block, which I've never been very good at, I cannot speedrun Thousand Year Door. It just doesn't make sense. And so I go, okay, skill issue, I won't do that one. But like what are the glitches in like Color Splash? Like, I love the Paper Mario franchise, and so I totally would. You fighting Sephiroth in KH1? Camera kept focusing on the tree. The tree is not what we want to look at right now, camera. Okay, well, I am the young human. Pleased to see you make it this far, but I don't know I don't know, dude. You kind of seem like you're gonna collapse. Yay, I got a key shard. A boy with one big key. I'm about to have a big key. Do you think I could beat Sephiroth? A weapon? Beyond price. A weapon beyond price. Okay. I see the chest. I get. So apparently there's a weapon beyond price. Yep, upper door. Okay, very predictable. That is what I was hoping would happen. We're back in here with a lovely wall that we can just wander all over slowly. I wonder if there are going to be... It has taught me a lot of new mechanics in this dungeon. And so I'm just thinking about, like, boss fights. Camera... Could you in any way help me actually see whether or not I'm above the platform? Hey. Okay. The angle was starting to annoy me. Oh my gosh, I was above the platform so much earlier than I thought I was. We're fine. I'm just thinking about the boss fight in this dungeon because usually you, like, the whole time that I'm doing a dungeon, I'm, like, collecting hints on what might or might not be applicable for a boss fight. And so, yes, okay, I am realizing I don't have the dungeon item yet. And so depending on what the dungeon item is, obviously that's going to make a difference as to how I'm expecting to... What? Weird. Okay. I'm expecting that to be needed to kill the final boss in this dungeon, but I'm also looking at the mechanics of the dungeon, like the movement and the, like, way that you have to do things, because sometimes that matters too. And they've taught me two things in this dungeon. They've taught me that the iron boots can hold me down underwater, and that the iron boots are magnetic. And I'm really curious if either of those things are going to feature in the boss fight, and I will just lock it in right now. I really, really hope they don't. I would not like that. But we'll see. Don't ask such questions, Kate. You do not want the no. Link's slow transformation into Spider-Man. Spider-Man or Spider-Man, because I would not like to watch Link transform into a spider a la this game, man. Spider-Link walks sideways on specific walls. Can he swing from a thread? No, you're asking too much. Get out. Stop criticizing Spider-Link. That's spectacular. That's so good. We have already seen a half human, half bird. Okay, so now I have to make a reference that possibly nobody is gonna get. But one of the things K. Menzel and I are currently rewatching is Kim Possible, the animated series, which is one of the best things that I love. I love it. I love everything about it. And we literally just watched the episode where it introduces Dee and Amy as a villain. And Dee and Amy is famously a villain because of her splicing experiments, wherein she, like, mashes up different creatures together to try to make, like, a half otter, half chicken, or, like, I think she combines the gym teacher with Rufus the Naked Mole Rat, and it's horrifying. And I'm just realizing, like, exactly how that chicken is probably her fault. I'm pretty sure I can just blame DNA me for Ocho. Oko. Uku. I have no idea how to say the name. It's fine. No, you would know, but there's other people in this chat, Kate. I don't want to sing it just in case I get in trouble. I kind of meant, I don't remember the exact words that I said. What I was saying was, I think, I was about to make a reference that chat as a group noun probably wouldn't get. And so what I was aiming for, regardless of the words that I used, because I reserve the right to be like, oh, maybe those were bad words, maybe I should try again, was that I was expecting to have made a reference that not everyone would get. Not necessarily that I was going to make a reference that I thought 0 people would get. Because I do think it was an iconic enough show for my age range that there's gotta be some overlap. And you gotta page me, it's okay. It's fine. I'm fine. You made Kim Possible for a Soul Calibur fight request? You made Kim Possible for a Soul Calibur fight request and you've never seen the show? That's cool. I love that that's your introduction to it. Poison Darth Frog. That's spectacular. Anyway, I got some money. And I made a reference that at least one person in chat understood. Ooh, I feel like I'm going the wrong way, but that's fine. The Kim Possible holiday episode? The who's it the what now? Do you do that yearly, Kate? Is that like a normal thing? As many holiday episodes as you can every year. That's interesting. I usually try to make sure that I watch a couple of different holiday movies, but then I also like getting in some variety there, and this year I did not have a lot of time, which means I got in 0 variety, and I'm not even sure that I watched all of my movies. I think I watched Rise of the Guardians at least, and I know I watched Grinch. But I don't think I managed Muppets Christmas Carol this year. She fights Catwoman. I can just find it on your YouTube, right? I mean, either way. We're gonna try and see if this works, because I would happily take a link, Poison Darth Frog, if you have one to drop. Muppets is a good must-watch. That's all I'm saying. Heck yeah. Oh, well built. I mean, it's the Soul Calibur version, but it does look like her. Oh, I was about to say this room seems suspicious. And then I saw the giant hulking fire dude in front of me. Give me remakes done with the Muppets? 10 out of 10. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I do not want to see your sequels. I do not want to see your live action remakes. I would absolutely watch a Muppets version of anything that has ever existed. I was thinking about this. What was the thing that I was thinking about? Shoot. I remember it was really funny because it was one of those things that had like an iconic... I don't think it was Star Wars. It might have been Star Wars. It had like an iconic pairing. And all I could think was you would, if you did a Muppets retelling of it, you were gonna have to gender swap the pairing because there's no way that Miss Piggy wouldn't be like the Han Solo to Kermit's Princess Leia, you know? Muppets Glengarry Glen Ross. There's so many. Oh, would be too good. Anyway, I think I'm gonna have to fight that guy, and it is unclear to me what the best way to do that is gonna be. Like, it's on a magnet surface. But I don't know how used. Muppets Haunted Mansion, adorable. Okay, well, hey dude. Am I a human? Or am I a wolf? Hey dude, I have permission from your elders to be here, at least 2 of them, and also the one back outside, so at least 3 out of 4 of the elders have given me permission to be here. You probably don't need to fight me. You have misunderstood the assignment, sir. Oh! Oh, we're in the lava now. Oh, nope. Okay. What are my options? Whoop! Uh-oh. What am I doing? Okay. So chat, we press buttons. Are you proud of us? I'm not sure I want to be very close to you when you're doing that. We press buttons. Did it again? Why did you win? That doesn't make sense. I'm pressing A to grab. Okay. Okay. We press buttons. Things happened. Oh, okay. Okay, we threw him in the wrong direction that time. I am unclear on any part of what is happening or on whether or not I can aim any of that. That was a push button fight done. Muppets Pride and Prejudice would be fantastic. Can you imagine Miss Piggy as Eliza? Because I certainly can. Oopsie victory. Best wrestling match of the year. Genuinely? Honestly, that feels a little bit like the wrestling match that I did with the Elder, where I was like, luck, I actively was pressing the wrong buttons, and the game did the right thing. I'm like, I don't know what happened, but it feels like someone turned on pity mode for me. I see the button say grab, I grab. I don't grab perfectly, and the second time I didn't grab at all. Ooh. Muppets Lord of the Rings, who would play Gollum? So, Gollum, yeah, Andy Serkis would play Gollum, not in a suit, just Andy Serkis. That's what I think. The Tolkien humor. Kate! Spectacular pun. Gollum would definitely just be played by Andy Serkis. That hurt a lot. Who knew that humans were capable of such feats of strength? That is specious. The Gorons in general. Someone conventionally attractive. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so that's funny. I think mine is funny because of Andy Serkis playing Gollum in Lord of the Rings, obviously. But Andy Serkis just normal playing Gollum in Muppet Lord of the Rings, I think would be very funny. Um, that being said, I do like what you're going for there, Beavis. I do like the concept. Why is he's just look at his sweet little blue eyes. Oh my gosh, this big boy, definitely a sweetheart on the inside. Absolutely a marshmallow. I am convinced. I like the idea of conventionally attractive, like, normal human. So, he's telling me to take the thing, but there isn't a thing here. Sam the Eagle would be Denethor. I like that one. I do like that one. That's true. Link is not human. Link does have pointy ears. Okay, Sam the Eagle as Denethor is definitely a casting choice that I like. I personally think Kermit should be... Ooh. No, I'm changing my mind. Because the joke is that Miss Piggy should be every female character, which means Kermit should be Aragorn, because every female character... named female character, like, I could see that joke playing out. I'd prefer him to be someone like Sam because I like the subtlety. Beaker is Sauron because he doesn't talk, and also he's orange. And his head would be the right shape to fit in those helmets. That's not bad. I wonder... Okay, so to pull this off, you need the major characters. I wonder if the hobbits could be the band. Like, Animal could be Pippin? Kermit, Fozzie, ooh, Fozzie, Scooter, and Pepe Le Pew. Okay, definitely an idea. Who would Peanut Gallery be? This is, okay, we need to work on this. I'm far too fascinated by this project. I also think I definitely have to just go into the next room and hope that I'm not missing Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin, respectively. You think Fozzie would be a good Sam? Okay. Aha! Well, there is an object and also a fire slug. Get out of here, fire slug. No one asked you. I'm trying to think of... Ooh, it's a bow! That's actually kind of exciting. Oops, not what I meant to do. I want to put the bow... Play one roll. Ow, I'm on fire. Thank you. That is what I wanted. What would the one roll be? Oh, I see. Uh-huh. Okay, forgive me for trying to shoot the thing that looked like a target. My bad, obviously. Merry and Pippin would be funny for, like... Currently, my vote would be to either have them cumulatively play Sauron or to have them play Ents. Or one could be Sauron and one could be Treebeard. No, I like the idea of Sauron because he's like, I don't know, he's got a balcony scene. Huh. Interesting. There are statues in this. I like the idea of Sam the Eagle as dinosaur, so... Okay. Delightful. This room is a trap. Ooh. Who plays Theoden King? Actually, no. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Who's gonna play Gandalf? I feel like Gonzo might make a good Gandalf, though. Ooh. Interesting. There's so many Muppets. Rolf? Wormtongue is a conventionally attractive celebrity, same as Gollum. The joke is that all of the orcs are just played by humans, just normal humans. Amazing. Okay, so I feel like this room is a trap, chat. I feel like I'm gonna step into the middle of it. I'm gonna get absolutely aced by a bunch of laser eyes. And then I'm gonna have to shoot them. That is what I feel. Orcs are chickens! That's a funny idea. No? No? Ooh. Can you give me arrows? No? I really... Infinitely respawning fire slug. Delightful. Aha! Yeah! Chat, I was right. Oop. Okay. So is that your limit? Am I allowed to? I don't think I can target. Okay, yep. I understand this room. Faramir's the bunny? Yes. Okay, so I could leave this room, but I don't actually want to. Ah, they are now all spinning. Whoop. Whoop. And I am very luckily stationed. Go on. Feel free. Fun. Look at me go. I really like the changes that they've made, oops, to BMOS in this game. Because in most versions of Zelda games, BMOS just, if you enter its range, it like hits you and it's quite a distance. Whereas these guys have pretty easy to predict limits. Wait, brown? I'm not sure I have brown. I have that color. Poison Deathfrag, thank you very much for deeming Mix It Up. Is this an acceptable color? I only have the Roy G. Biv colors loaded in. And so this is the closest that I've got to a brown flavor. There are secrets. Whoa, there's also a door behind this one? sneaky extra door. I hope that doesn't reset the room. I'm gonna break some stuff. I'm glad that that's acceptable. Thank you very much for that redemption. I did acquire the bow, and so it is worth noticing. Interesting. I am expecting something to give me more arrows in this room. It'd be super weird if nothing did. Ooh, money. This is the one with the chest. Which I think I remember noticing. Ooh. It's a fancy thing? It's the compass! I forgot I didn't have the compass! Hold on. Let me check the map. What have I missed? First floor is empty. I did not miss anything on the first floor. Second floor has one treasure chest in a room I haven't been in yet, one treasure chest in a room I have been in, but I haven't been able to access that part of the room, and two treasure chests in a room, the room with the archers, the like outer room with the archers, and so I have not been able to access all of that room yet either. So I'm missing 4 treasure chests, all of them in areas where I don't think I've been to yet. Like, not the room, but definitely the platform where the icon is. So that's interesting, because that means I maybe don't have to do a lot of backtracking. And the direction that I wanted to go when I was in the open space with the archers and I wanted to, like, blah, 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 that's the way to the boss. I wanted to go there way early. That was my fault. The Muppet Show is coming back again? That's sweet. Sometimes, like, I don't know, there's a lot in the history of the Muppet Show that means I want to just say, oh, I love them, and that is mostly true. Like, that's by and large true. But part of why I love them and what I love about them is actually the context of who is writing for them. And so I hope that they keep that. Miss Piggy playing all 3 female characters and just wearing a different wig. Exactly. That is the joke. That is the entire joke. And I love that joke because she can be Arwen, she can be Eowyn. Both of them hit on Aragorn. I'm sure she'll be happy with that. She can be Galadriel and be like, yo, welcome to my fancy whatever. She can be Rosie right at the beginning, hitting on Sam. There's 4? She could be Shelob. All the named female characters, I insist. Of course I'm gonna hear you out, Kate Bloomer. Fozzie Bear's mom as Galadriel? One moment, please. I've spent a lot of time Googling. Aww. Emily Bear. Or Ma. That's adorable. Megan Fox as Sheila. Megan! Welcome in! Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for redeeming Let's Go to the Lobby, aka Eat Everything. I am gonna do that. Thank you so much. Megan Fox should be Gollum? Honestly? Kinda, yeah. No! No, the joke of Gollum being a conventionally attractive human is too good to miss. But you're right. The 2 halves of the personality does work very well for the combined Muppet. And so I do think I see what you're thinking. I just really prefer the joke. I prefer the joke. Okay, so we have to eat everything. That means we need to start with a dehydrate. We're planning the casting for a Muppets version of Lord of the Rings. That's what we're doing, Mexico. Nobody can agree on anything, but it's delightful. Personally, I thought, first of all, the obvious suggestion being, if you're going to do a Muppets Lord of the Rings, you have to think of which characters are going to be human. And I definitely agree with the joke that Gollum should be a human character, because Gollum is so, like, not human initially. And so Settle Down Beavis' suggestion was that Gollum should be a conventionally attractive human, because that's a greater contrast. My suggestion is that Gollum should be played for the Muppets Lord of the Rings by Andy Serkis. Not in costume, just Andy Serkis, because I think that would be funny. Kate Bloomer has now submitted Statler and Waldorf, which is also a great answer. It feels like there's no right answers. These are all really funny suggestions. So I did say Miss Piggy should play all the named female characters. So Galadriel, Arwen, and Eowyn should all be played by Miss Piggy, and, like, I think, was it Poison Darthfrog who was like, just in different wigs? No one should acknowledge it. Just all the named female characters are played by Miss Piggy, including Rosie right at the beginning. But like I said, there's no wrong answers. And so, I do also like the idea of the named female characters that are love interests being played by Miss Piggy, because that's also very akin to her personality, which would mean Galadriel has to be cast as a different Muppet, and I do like the idea of Ma Bear. Rizzo is Pippin. Interesting. Maybe still blacklisted? Okay. This is my hydrate, which is typically 69 channel points, but which is part of Let's Go to the Lobby. So thank you, Mexico, for that. And then we have my seasonal candy, which is a winter mint, and my non-seasonal candy, which is a candy cane, because it's not the season for that anymore. This one is like a fruity one instead of a minty one. These are all spectacular suggestions. Someone needs to bankroll this. Ooh, butterscotch. Never mind, not fruity. Double the sweet. It fell apart into like 12 different pieces. You are the second person who suggested Kermit and Fozzie as Frodo and Sam in that order, respectively. That is interesting. That tells me there's a dynamic that I'm not understanding at play here. So this room is a dead end. It just needs to be that way. 2 independent people suggested the same thing, obviously. I like, therefore, because that means you doubled up on Kermit Fozzie as Frodo Sam, and you also doubled up on Ms. Piggy as multiple female characters. And that was my idea. So now I'm feeling like more justified in the suggestion. I don't know what's in this room, but it's it's an elder. Okay. Dang. The design for the elders is cool. That's completely okay. That's spectacular. Every named female character who's like, this is Aragorn, he is my husband, but you are so, and then she just like goes crazy over Kermit, and Kermit's like, no. It plays into their characters. It would be good. Tim Curry is Tim Curry. I have a boss key. And the tribal leader has a grotesque form. That's good to know. I would like what's in this chest, please. Money. Somehow I feel like that was too easy. I got a bow, and immediately after getting a bow, I got a... Thank you for the lurk. I got an elder. I guess I did have to destroy all of these BMOs to find him. Okay. So I also suppose that now that I have the bow, I can kill those archers. Well, this is awful. Uncles Bill and Bo. That's funny. Yep. Statler and Waldorf, I think, would be pretty funny. Doing the famous speech at the party. That being said, there is no rule that only Miss Piggy has to be the Muppet who plays more than one role, because there's a much smaller group of, I think, iconic Muppets than there are, like, casts across, like, the 3-movie epic that is Lord of the Rings. And so there's probably space for a lot of duplication. I also would submit that I would enjoy seeing Hugo Weaving reprise his role as Elrond in a Muppets version of Lord of the Rings. Especially when he's like at the council, because everyone else at the council would be a Muppet and he'd be there trying to like make them make decisions, and that would be really funny. Maybe I can just shoot all of these. Not if I miss. Interesting. I don't need the help. But I did figure there would be arrows in one of those things. Maybe I should just shoot all the fire slugs from here. Gonzo as Gimli, son of Gloin. And Camilla as Galadriel, because Gonzo could get feathers. Interesting. Interesting. Seen only from the extended edition, but definitely canon in the books. Interesting that you went there. I like that. I was also thinking it would be funny to see Hugo Weaving play Elrond as Agent Smith, but I was like, that feels a bit like one layer too far, except you also went there, which means clearly there's something there. Well, I'm definitely gonna shoot all of those slugs. Ooh, there's many. I'm not sure. Okay. Okay. Oh, very fun. They all dropped arrows, and so maybe I should get the rest of those ones when I'm actually over there. But I can try to do these ones now, maybe? Okay, that's fine. Interesting. I kind of thought I was gonna climb that, honestly. Okay. I got you. I see it. Gonzo as Gimli, son of Gloin is a lot of G's, and I can see that. It's your reputation. You say what we're all thinking, but we decided it was too silly to actually say. It's a very important role. Interesting. Oops, that is not what I meant to press, I don't think. I think that was what I meant to press. Can I actually hurt your tail? Distinctly? Yeah, I can indeed. That's fun. I just didn't relish the idea of fighting two of them on the same tiny little island, you know? Okay, I need that guy to, like, walk slightly further away from that edge of the platform, please. What? What? Okay. Okay. Come slightly away from the edge, please. Nope, nope. Ah! Keep... Ugh. There we go. Fighting them with the sword is very annoying. We made it. Oof. Can you imagine if I had tried that without shooting them all first? Thank you. I did get... get the one. Oh, there is a... Okay, hold on. Someone from Sesame Street? Clearly Big Bird. I mean, the obvious option would be an eagle, but who could Big Bird be? Is it bad that my first thought was the mouth of Sauron? That's probably bad, right? Grover would be good. Okay. Hear me out. Okay. I need to change my positioning slightly because I can't aim higher than that. Nope, that's somehow worse. How do I get far enough away that I can aim this properly? Yes. Ooh. Yes. That's nice. Being able to get him. Oscar the Grouch's Treebeard is spectacular. That is a good point. Okay, so I need to turn on magnets because I need to, like, hit something. Sure, I'll take the health. I need to hit something in order to open this door properly. Not that. Any visibility whatsoever would be spectacular. Okay, so what I think I need to do is I think I need to shoot this. And then let go of Cookie Monster as the Balrog. I have been wondering what we were thinking when it comes to Balrog, this whole time, and I had no good suggestions. Well done. Ooh. A chest. When you allow for Sesame Street, there are many good options. Okay, so I have all the chests so far. Nope. Hello? There you go. This is the only other place. Whoop. Need to go. Anytime you want to refill my arrows, you could totally do that. But I guess you won't. Okay, so this is interesting because I have been here. I'm backtracking now, chat. Elmo is Mouth of Sauron. And the level of language, because Elmo canonically is 3 and talks like he's 3. And so the Mouth of Beaker is just Elmo. I'm pretty sure I'm just backtracking, but with a bow. What the heck? They have given us different enemies. I don't want it. Oh my Lanta. I extra don't want it because I actually have to go into the water, because this room is one where we have to throw ourselves at the mercy of that whatever the heck. And I do have to move the thing. This is fine. This is fine. The other one is a lot further away. And what did I assume Mrs. Settledown have to say? Your upstairs Lord of the Rings expert? Because I am vastly curious. The mouth and beaker is just Elmo. It is a pretty good sentence. Janice is Eowyn. Okay. I mean, yeah. Long blonde hair. Very, yes, okay. If we ruin the joke of Miss Piggy being everything, yes, fair enough. I do actually kind of agree that Janice would make a good Eowyn. Kind of? See, now I have to... like, that might be what her character design is actually based on? Question mark? But Janice is one of the Muppets that's in the band, where, like, Animal's the drummer. Yeah. Oh, dang. Okay. I did not know that that was confirmed, which means I really like that layer, and I would be pro that concept. Oh my gosh. The other fish is trying to shoot me. The other fish is a meanie. I wonder what other new enemies are gonna be. Whoop! There are new enemies! I called it! But I can actually shoot the Beamos statues this time. Oh, Ma Bear. Fozzie Bear's mom. Kate suggested might make a hilarious Galadriel. I would really love to restock my arrows, but you know, this cool game. I don't like need them or anything. It is very obvious to me that regardless of what the boots have to do. Interesting. I didn't even really need to do that. I could have gone the long way around. Whatever the boots have to, thank you, have to do with the boss fight, the arrows are definitely going to wind up being boss fight requirement. Animal is Gollum. Okay. I mean, if we're not gonna do the classically attractive human being, sure. Sweetums is Gandalf. See, I love talking about... Oh! That's actually good. That's a good suggestion. See, the reason that I love just open tabling this for a brainstorm is, like, the things people think of that I didn't remember, you know? Like, when you asked me to list all the Muppets that I know, I'm not sure Sweetums would have been on my list, which is horrible, because Sweetums is wonderful and a hilarious Muppet, and I just don't have it all the time in my brain, and so, like, this is why you have to ask multiple people for multiple opinions. Do you know what I learned, chat? I feel like I learned this well enough to say people. This is on the topic. I promise this is on the topic. What my brain was thinking was we have to roundtable this because it's only through talking to loads and loads and loads of people are we going to come to some kind of understanding of what would typically be understood as a good casting for a Muppet as a Lord of the Rings character, because not everyone's going to agree. And so, like, what is a good casting? What isn't a good casting? Like, the more people you talk to, the more you get, like, a good polling data almost on it, and that matters when you're going to cast things. And that reminded me of the fact that a thing that I learned yesterday was when they were doing the animation for Tangled, the animators had to have a whole, like, meeting, and they called it the Hot Man Room, where they got a bunch of women, like a lot of women, to come in and just look at all of the sketches that they had prepared for Flynn Rider and, like, just talk through, this is hot, this is not, this is hot, this is not, this is hot, this is not, until they got it down to, like, the design that they have for him. And that is hilarious to me and will never not be hilarious. And there were, like, teeny little clips of it. It's just, like, 8 women talking at once about, like, hair and, like, jawlines and stuff. And when you talk to the animators are like, that was horrifying. And I'm like, that sounds like the best day ever. Hilarious. Is that why his nose has so many different designs? Maybe. They were all the rejects. Arwen played by Piggy, okay. Elrond Gonzo. Interesting. Interesting. Kermit, Fozzie, Rolf as Aragorn, Gimli, Legolas. Yes, so that gets us Kermit in the Aragorn role to contrast with Miss Piggy's Arwen, which is funny, but also would still be funny if Kermit were Frodo, and so I'm not saying I didn't love that idea as well. Robin for Frodo. Token human is Sam. Could we just recast Sean Astin? Could he just be Sam again? Just himself, though, taking it just as seriously as he ever did and making me cry constantly. I would love that. Rizzo as Mary, Pepe as Pippin. Interesting. See, these are very fun ideas. Okay, I've got to go through the next door. Now, there were a bunch of people trying to shoot me the last time I was here. This time, I do not have dudes with arrows. I have this dude. Very interesting. Oh, there's one though. That guy's got a bow and arrow. Are there more of you? There are more of you. I noticed them. Well, I noticed 2 of them. Maybe there are more. I can't carry it, but I can carry you! Gently picks up Robin extremely carefully. Absolutely. Okay, but who would Mrs. Settledown cast as Shelob? If we're going extended Muppet universe, then you propose Rigel as Saruman? Okay. There's some validity to the suggestion because I would 100% watch Rigel get spiked. But also, how dare you bring Rigel into this discussion, King Wenzel? You're too funny. Context for anyone who maybe hasn't seen it. There's a sci-fi show which is an experience and a half called Farscape, and Rigel is a character on Farscape that is a Muppet, like legit. He's built like a Muppet. It was the Muppet builders that made, like, Jim Henson made this thing and gave it to Farscape as like one of their characters, and he's awful. He's the worst. Like, his personality, I have been like at least once an episode for like the last season. Whenever something happens that puts him even remotely in danger, I'm like, just let him die. Just kill. It's fine. We don't need to save him. He's fine. And so I do agree that if we're going to have to bring the extended Muppet universe into this experience, that at least can we make Rigel a character that dies? Valid. I also would suggest, because Rigel doesn't walk, he like rides a little machine, he could also be the King of the Nine. And then we wouldn't have to hear him speak very much. Anyway, that was a niche joke just for my husband. Thanks everybody for being patient. Orcs all being chickens is a yes, except the bomb orc at Helm's Deep. Okay. Crazy Harry. That's great. Sauron should be Statler and Waldorf, and the dark speech is just their laugh. That's not bad. We did have Beaker as Sauron, which was really funny if we put like Elmo as the mouth of Sauron. But I also like that idea of like of making them actually the big bad. Rigel is Boromir. Oh. Swedish chef is Sauron. Because Borg. Oh my gosh, that's a good one. I think I like that one. Oh, I found a bunch more archers. I can't tell if they were there before and I just wasn't paying attention, or if they like spawned in. Oh my goodness. I'm doing pretty okay with this aim. Orcs replaced with Borks. Ooh, Swedish chef is Eowyn because of the stew. These are too good. I think. Oh! Right, I can hurt this thing. Because I am certain that, like, whatever is behind this means something. Oh, terrifying. Does it let me go up? It lets me go up. Whoop. There are more dudes with arrows up there. Okay, that seems to be the extent of their range. Fascinating. I am so distracted by my wish to like continue this conversation about the Muppets. Oh, come on. How do I get around to the chest? Gimli played by an extra small / lightweight Muppet just so that it's more hilarious whenever he gets tossed. See, and that would suggest possibly someone like Rizzo, but I preferred the idea of Rizzo as one of the... Okay, so this I understand. But how do I get to the... Oh, wait, never mind. I already got the treasure chest. I'd forgotten. Whoopsies! We're fine. We're doing okay. Okay, we are making it happen. But there are treasure chests in this room still, but I don't think I have made it around to them yet. Interesting. So I still need to create that bridge. Because I need to shoot that. So I can't yet throw myself into there. How do I get up there? Or... because I can aim... Yes, I can shoot a bow while I am magnetized. That is important. But then how do I get up to the area where... that way maybe? Okay, one moment please. I've unlocked a whole new area of this dungeon and I'm just kind of ignoring it in favor of trying to figure out where the treasure is. Thanks for the arrows. Ooh, a fairy. Do I have any bottles? I already have a fairy in a bottle. Sorry. Can't even really use you. That is unfortunate. Okay, what am I missing? Because I think I need to get up. I have 2 treasure chest icons. I'm looking at one now, and then the other one's like over there a little bit more. I have 2 treasure chest icons, but I'm running out of time. What if it's not up? Hold on. Because I did try... way back when I tried down. Okay. But I didn't know where they were at the time. And so I now have... there's one that's labeled as being... oh, there it is. Yeah, it is in the water. Nope. I should have predicted that. Okay. I'll take it. Oh, it's the stamp, which means I don't even really care about it. Can I get picked up from the water? Where does the magnetization live? Is it on the platform there? It's on the platform there. Okay. So chat, we're gonna have to look at the terrifying chicken again. I'm so sorry. So there's definitely got to be a treasure chest on that like super high up thing. But I don't have anything that can get me up there yet. Cause the thing is, I'm done. That's a terrifying, terrifying emote of a chicken. Poison Darth Frog. So I have to go through one more room to get to the boss door, which I then unlock with the key and fight the boss, which means I certainly do not have time to finish that today. So I'm going to have to put that off to next week. And since I have to put that off to next week, we're all about to regret everything together. Yes, I would like to go outside. I mean, at least we didn't have to, like, see the front of the chicken that time. We didn't get the whole spiel of the cloning. We're just back. We're just back, and it's okay. I do appreciate the ability to save in the middle of a dungeon. That's nice, I guess. I just realized it took me so long to finish the candy cane that I never moved on to the wintergreen mint. So Mexico, if you are still here, thank you very much for my seasonal candy as well. I remembered it before the end of stream. Not bad. It just takes me a long time to eat certain candies, and I think we were already talking about Muppets Lord of the Rings at the time. And if we're already talking about Muppets Lord of the Rings, what even is the point? Okay, well, I managed to not want to break anything. That actually was not as bad as I anticipated. I expected it was going to be really tricky because the thought of having to consider the walls and the ceilings in addition to the floor was sort of throwing me. When I learned like what the mechanic of the dungeon was, that was throwing me a little bit. And so I like that it's not just something that is willy-nilly. Like you can't climb on every wall. You can climb on some walls in some rooms, but not all walls and not all rooms, and you usually have to turn them on first. That made it better. That made it just a navigation mechanic. So I don't actually expect... I'm not sure I expect water or magnets to be a part of the boss fight. Magnets were necessary for the mini boss fight. I'm not sure magnets are going to be necessary for the boss fight, though I can't argue my way out of thinking that iron boots should still probably be equipped for it, since we know that it's a Goron that we're fighting, like a supercharged Goron. And so I expect to use the bow, and I expect to maybe use the iron boots, and we'll have to like see how things go. They are awful, Mexico. I don't love them. One of my least favorite things about this game so far is the design for the terrifying save feature. You didn't need to do that, but you did. So regardless, if you want to see the creepy head clone next week, you can come back. I stream Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern time, so I'll be here same time next week, same place. And I look forward to hanging out with y'all. I'm just checking my like lives, and most of the people that I'm following are not gaming tonight. They might be chatting or other things, but I don't like raiding into chatting streams. So we're probably not going to go on a raid tonight. But thanks for coming and hanging out anyways, all the same. I did enjoy myself despite every piece of everything that happened that was creepy or weird. I did enjoy myself, and I especially enjoyed trying to cast Muppet Lord of the Rings. They spent so much time wondering if they could, but never stopped to think if they should. Honestly, I think they're just trying one last thought before I go. As someone who's worked in customer service, if I received the level of criticism for how kiddie Wind Waker was that I think Nintendo received, I might respond by making the worst game I'd ever made in terms of terrifying design, just to make you regret that complaint. Like, I genuinely could see, oh, you think the pendulum's too far this way because Link is too cute? Well, what happens if we horrify you? Like, I could see that as being an appropriate customer service response. But it probably wasn't that. Thank y'all so much for coming and hanging out. Hopefully I'll see some of y'all next week. Regardless, I'm going to be done. And even if I don't see you next week, it's all good. Everything's well and good. You can come back if you want to see me fight another Goron. I've fought a few of those already today. But regardless, and until I see you next time, I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, a wonderful rest of your week, and a wonderful weekend. And as always, until I see you next time, keep it cute.